Welcome back to another 40th anniversary posting of my G.I. Joe collection. For the past few months, I've been posting these daily on my social media. This is a compilation of my Series 10 figures and vehicles. These figures are in varying states, and some have a lot of wear and tear on them. Some also have their accessories, and some do not. With all that being said, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and by all means leave some stories in the comments if you had some of these figures. Thank you, and enjoy. Here is Battle Android Trooper, codename B.A.T, part of Series 10 from 1991. When this came out, I was 11, and they took B.A.T to a whole new level. The colors were poppin', and it was fantastic. As a 42-year-old man, I hate these colors. He looks like something that you would put out for Halloween. I don't know why B.A.T needs a giant missile launcher backpack, and he only has two hand attachments, one being his hand and the other being the grenade launcher. However, the backpack also doubled as a hand attachment. Despite the lack of accessories, I do have them all, so this is a complete figure minus the sticker that's supposed to go in his chest. I have no idea where that went. As a kid, I really did love this figure and I played with it often. And looking back upon it now, I don't hate the figure, but it is not what the original was. Here is Chief Environmental Operative, codename Cesspool, part of Series 10 from 1991. This figure was part of the Eco Warriors line. Hasbro started leaning into the environmental space, and they all came with some sort of weaponry that you could fill with water and used against the other guys because they were all made with color-changing plastic that once squirted with water would simulate elements of battle damage on their suit. His sculpt was kind of cool and different, but I definitely passed him over. I didn't want to play with a figure of an old man with a receding hairline. I definitely did not buy him. He came to me from an auction. If you had Cesspool and you enjoyed this figure, leave me a comment. Here is G.I. Joe Anti-Tox Trooper, codename Clean Sweep, part of Series 10 from 1991. Here is another figure from the Eco Warriors line. This is my original. I did purchase him. Why I started purchasing the Eco Warriors line, I couldn't tell you. This figure was also made with the color-changing plastic, so when he was squirted with water, his plastic would change color to simulate battle damage. This figure was slightly different. Instead of coming with a backpack that you would fill with water, he came with a little sweeper tank that you could fill with water and use that instead. That's what that little control panel is that comes off his backpack, would be to control the little sweeper tank. I swear I had it, and when I was filming this, I couldn't seem to find it anywhere. This guy was not my favorite, but I still enjoyed playing with him. I like the hazmat suit look of him, and that mustache is something else.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Here is Cobra Elite Trooper, codename Crimson Guard Immortal, part of Series 10 from 1991. I kind of forgot I had a Crimson Guard in my collection. This was just a later version. I really like this figure because of all the silver that he had on top of the red, where the original one was just kind of red on red. This figure is almost complete. I'm missing a few missiles and his ammo belt. I don't even remember him having an ammo belt. I like that he was a bit unique in that he had 3 missile launchers. Not many guys had something of that nature. He was just a different kind of trooper than a lot of the other Cobra figures. Hence the Elite Trooper status. Here is Cobra Desert Trooper, codename Desert Scorpion, part of Series 10 from 1991. When this guy came out and I walked through Toys R Us and saw him on the shelf, I immediately grabbed him. There was no hesitation. Not a lot of figures came with companion animals, but this one's companion animal was fantastic and I needed to have it. The sculpt on the Scorpion isn't the best and it's a little derpy in places, but it is pretty cool. He also came with a very unique set of accessories. A machine pistol, a backpack, a missile, and digger claws to dig, I guess, in the sand, which is weird, but okay. But the fact that you could take the machine pistol and the missile and put it on the backpack and use that as kind of a sentry, I thought was fantastic. The only piece that I'm missing on this is a hose, which I have plenty of extra, so I'm calling this figure complete. Here is Eco Warriors Commander, codename Flint, part of Series 10 from 1991. To be honest with you, I don't know why I bought him. Probably because it was Flint, and the other part was I already had at least one of the other Eco Warriors, so I figured why not, they could squirt each other. As an 11-year-old, I liked the idea of them having battle damage if you squirted water on them. As an adult, the bright neon is gross. Why does his rifle need to be so gigantic, and then on top of that, the other squirty rifle has to be equally gigantic? It's too much. As you can see, he may have been put away wet because your battle damage is showing. I don't have a lot of great things to say about this Eco line. I did buy them and I played with them. Would I do the same now? Most likely not. Here is Infantry Squad Leader, codename Grunt, part of Series 10 from 1991. I sat here for a minute trying to figure out if his name's actually Grunt or he is the delineation of a grunt in the army. His card says codename Grunt, so I'm going with that. I always enjoyed playing with this guy. He was pretty great. The thing that set him apart from the others was the awesome rifle that he had and the gigantic missile launcher, which I managed to get him to stay upright and hold this ridiculous missile launcher on his shoulder the whole time while he spun on the turntable. He didn't come with anything else other than the missile launcher, the rifle, and his helmet. So this is a complete figure.
Now back to G.I. Joe.
Here is Cobra Amphibious Assault Trooper, codename Lampreys, part of Series 10 from 1991. This figure was part of the Sonic Fighter series, and this was an updated version of the original from '85, which was silver and blue, and this one is traffic cone orange. Because why not? These figures had an enormous backpack on them that had a little speaker built in and 4 different buttons on them that simulated different weapon noises. This one came to me from an auction and came with no accessories. However, this guy came with far too many accessories. He has nowhere to carry all of this. Granted, they give you options, but as a child, bye-bye, those are all gone. If you had this guy and had some good memories with him, leave a comment. Here is G.I. Joe Ozone Replenisher Trooper, codename Ozone, part of Series 10 from 1991. I have no idea what an Ozone Replenisher Trooper is. This was part of the Eco Warriors line that all were made with color-changing plastic. Once the color-changing plastic was hit with water, it was made to resemble some sort of battle damage. I did like the sculpt and design of his uniform, but I don't really have any attachment to this character. I think I just bought him because he was part of this line, and this was what was out at the time. I do have all of his accessories, so this is a complete figure. Here is Commando, codename Snake Eyes, part of Series 10 from 1991. I love Snake Eyes, as most of us do. This is not the best representation of Snake Eyes. I know characters change over time, and when I was a kid, this one was awesome. I loved him so much. It was cool and new and all of that. Is it still cool? Yes. Do I still like this figure? Yes. But it's not the Snake Eyes that I know and love. Especially with the bright red weapons, I don't know what that's all about. And the giant grapple hook backpack, that's wild. I know I'm slamming on this thing really hard. I still do love this figure. I do have all of his accessories, so this is a complete figure. I'll leave it to the comments section to determine whether this is a good representation of Snake Eyes or not. Here is Cobra Snowtrooper, codename Snow Serpent, part of Series 10 from 1991. This is the updated version of the original Snow Serpent from '85. I still love the original Snow Serpent, but this one is also cool. I remember the day walking into Toys R Us and seeing this figure on the shelf. They gave him a cool snowboard with what appears to be rocket boosters on it, as well as a backpack with a giant missile launcher on it. I do like the updated sculpt, as well as the paint job for this character. I have all of his accessories, so this is a complete figure. Here is Hostile Environment Trooper, codename Toxo-Viper, part of Series 10 from 1991. This version of Toxo-Viper was part of the Eco Warriors line. This is an updated version from the 1988 one. These figures were made with color-changing plastic, so when squirted with water, they would change color to simulate battle damage. They also came with weaponry that could be filled with water and used to squirt each other. I normally would not have bought him, however I had already bought a few Joes in the Eco Warriors line, so I needed someone for them to fight against. I did like this sculpt better than the original one from '88. Looking back on it now, he looks a little like Master Chief, which is kind of cool. He didn't come with much other than the cannon, the backpack, and his pistol, so this is a complete figure.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.